All right, so we're recording this. So Ashley, thank you so much for doing this at the very last minute. But I really wanted to kind of have you share how you came about doing this 6-week absolute toning. Because when I got your information on what it is and how I'm going to share it with my challengers, I looked and it looks like you have back issues and you have kids and so I wanted to see if you could share with us that history. Where did this come from? How did you do this? And how those mamas who are having those issues with backs and knees could literally do this. You're gorgeous. Like, is this you?
Thank you. That's not me. Nope, keep going. I'll show you me. Keep going. I use stock images because that's me.
That is you.
Yeah. I have good abs too, but I didn't put like a bunch of pictures of me in there because I felt like it just looked more professional. But I did sneak in one to see if anybody would
you could
catch
definitely get away with all of that.
You're sweet.
But yeah, tell us about this because
sure, how it came to be born, right? So I was into heavy weightlifting actually about 5 years ago. And had no idea, I was just like any other average person going to the gym, trying to get in shape. And I started weightlifting and I didn't have any guidance. I didn't have anybody there to tell me what to do, which is why I love Beachbody in general so much because, the form cues, I've learned so much just from doing these videos, these workouts. And so, fast forward, I had I injured myself and pretty significantly. I required an emergent surgery. It was L5-S1, which is the lowest disc in your back, on your low back. I had what's called saddle paralysis. And so I could not feel from almost my knees to my belly button. I was completely numb. Went to the doctor. They said, you got to go in surgery tomorrow. Went in surgery and had what's called a discectomy, where they just kind of, what happened is the disc that separates the two vertebrae, it's, like a shock absorber.
Yeah.
And it's actually like a hard substance and it's filled with like a gel substance. So that tore and then shot out and was compressing my spine. I had about a hairline worth of spinal cord not compressed. And so anyway, they went in, they just kind of like chopped it off and then said, just don't jump, don't run, don't bounce, don't twist. I can twist now, but I couldn't twist then for, it was like 3 months. But they didn't recommend doing any of the high impact moves for the rest of my life because, if my kids are running or jumping, I could do that. But just the repetitive impact will then cause a back issue later in life. So I'm trying to preserve what's there essentially. Okay. So I was introduced to Beachbody and then, I had to learn to modify for myself. I could not do any of the jumping moves. I couldn't do anything. And it was truly born when I started doing 80-day obsession. The sliders were huge because instead of jumping into a burpee, I could then slide into a burpee and slide back and there was no impact. So that was a big deal. And then that evolved into, as I went into doing other programs, I would just implement the things I learned. So I would implement using the sliders. And what I found as I was using the sliders is my abs got into insanely good shape. And at first I was like, I didn't really realize. And then it was the more I used them, the more in shape I got. And then the ankle weights, this is pretty funny, actually come from, of course, knowing I couldn't jump or run. I was like, how can I work my legs, and still get a good workout? And so I thought ankle weights. Well, that came from doing the Brazilian butt lift work program, which is hysterical. I did that. That's actually what got me turned on to Beachbody. I had a friend who had brought it over on a thumb drive and let me borrow it. And he uses ankle weights in one of the moves. And so I was like, I'm just going to start using ankle weights. So then I, used ankle weights all the time. And then I was using sliders. And then when the fabric bands kind of started to become popular, I knew the 80-day obsession, the elastic, whatever you want to call them, rubber latex bands. they just rolled. They drove me insane. And so I just started searching and searching. And then I found these fabric bands that just didn't move, you know? And then I was like, well, why can't I add those? And then as I just continued to do these programs, like the step from Transform 20, I was like, well, I'm just gonna, yeah. So I was like, I'll just I could appreciate how the step, you know, utilizing the step and how it works us in different ways. And so I just made every workout this, like, you know, almost total body, but still with an emphasis on, if you're doing upper body, it's an upper body day or whatever. And the hybrid, because absolute toning is essentially like my company, and it's the approach to how to work out, utilizing every body part, every second. That's part of being a mom. You know, we don't have time ever, and so we need to utilize as much as we can. And then also the approach in just having, if you have a little bit of equipment, you know, not having to necessarily have heavy weights all the time. And so I then created the hybrid calendar, which is part of that workbook.
Yeah.
And I did that because,
look at that, I love it.
thank you. I did that because I could appreciate things. The hybrid calendar I could appreciate things from different programs. And the hybrid calendar has workouts from both obsession, a little obsessed and a little more obsessed. And then it has workouts from Lift 4. And then, because it was my, you know, little, well, what do I want to call it? My breakthrough program, it actually has snuck in on Wednesdays. It's an optional target day. So you can do upper body, lower body, or more of a cardio, depending on what your goals are.
So
yes.
One, because I'm like, wait, Wednesday looks deep.
Yeah, no, you can pick. I list 3 because, you know, I like a lower body emphasis, but not everybody does. Some people's trouble areas are more upper body, or some people's trouble areas are, you know, they're trying to lose a significant amount of weight. And so that's going to be a little bit more cardio. You still need weightlifting and toning, but you know, you want a little bit more cardio in that. So I try to truly make it a program for everyone. And you can make it more upper body heavy if on your optional day you do your upper option. Yep. And then lower would be the lower, and then there's a cardio one. But on the lower body, I snuck in Brazilian butt lift, and so
saw that,
which is such a fun, you know, silly program. But I'm gonna tell you what, you do it, and your lower half will be on fire. It's incredible. Yeah.
Now, tell us, you have how many kids?
3.
3 kids.
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old boy and twin 8-year-old girls.
Twin girls.
Twin girls. Yep, I've had twins. Yeah. Yes.
Where's that picture again? Twin girl. And,
yes.
And you look, I can't even find the picture now. Because at one point, like, okay, look at the app again.
I told you I'm lower focused.
Yeah, you're lower, and I think people have that problem. Either like, what am I focusing on?
Yeah.
It's midsection, right?
Yep.
I have a lot of hormone issues where my hormones fluctuates, so that my fat and everything goes into my stomach.
Yep.
And the hormones go crazy. So one day I could be 10 inches smaller than the next day. It's ridiculous. But never knew how to work that area.
Yeah. Yep.
And then when I was reading through your absolute toning guide, I was like, this is what we've been missing for a long time. Because I love
the targeting. But see, I love it too. The problem is each program is, you know, it's kind of like a total body entry level. I don't know. I just don't feel like you're able to truly it'll get you so far, but then how do you keep going? Exactly. And so we just did, some of my challengers and I just did the new real-time 21-day fix. Yeah. And we just wanted to see, I did an absolute toning guide with it because there was no way we could just do 21-day fix and be challenged. So I did an absolute toning and that helped, but we were doing the same style of workout every day. And that's where we found the hybrids are key, because you're working your body in a different way every day. You're working your mind in a different way every day. And so it just keeps your body, in a constant state of confusion and growing and changing. And so, and also I was saying earlier, the ankle weights, I wanted them for leg work. What ended up happening is they're insanely good for your midsection and ab work. Because think about any time you are doing like a leg lower or leg lifts or anything, bicycle crunches, anything like that. If you have ankle weights on, it's a game changer. Your abs are having to work so much harder to lift up that weight. And then anytime you're doing leg work, it's pretty impossible unless you're doing, say, lift 4 leg day, where it's a lot of like heavy weights. Any other leg work, you're pretty much having to use your core. So if you are wearing those ankle weights, doing leg work, you're also working your core. So it's definitely proven to make a difference and change.
And what I love is that when I looked at your list of like what we needed.
Yeah.
Everything except for the step, and I could be wrong, I've seen Five Below. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Five Below, I mean, even the resistance bands, I get them all from there. So
yeah,
so doable, and you could do that.
That's what my goal was, to let people know, like, you don't need a ton of equipment and it doesn't have to be expensive. And I put in there where I get mine from, but it's just suggested, like, here are the ankle weights I use here, but and this is where I get them. But you can use you can get ankle weights at TJ Maxx for $5,
Exactly.
So I have a lot of people message me and want to know exactly where I got my stuff or what it is. So that's why I included it. And of course I've tested and tried a lot to know, like, the TJ Maxx ankle weights are pretty bulky and, don't last forever, but they'll get the job done. If you're doing a program, they get the job done.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to add to, and this kind of occurred to me this morning, is absolute toning. While you're doing that workbook, it's a mindset shift, because it's impossible to not apply the toning techniques that I employ in that workbook and not think. Your mind will store that. And so the next time you do a program, even if it's not absolute toning, any program, you're going to think, oh, if hey, maybe I could lunge off this step. Hey, maybe I could use a band, or I could use the sliders. Like, it's a mindset shift so that you're able to then apply that approach to all programs yourself.
Right. Yeah. Very, very true. In fact, I looked at that as your step 1 being the mindset. So I added a full week of preparing everybody to get started with this program. So it's a full week of prep with your mind.
It's important. It is.
So important. Because I know I can't do stuff like this if I don't prepare myself mentally for it and have a plan.
That's right.
So, like, I looked through it, I studied the workbook, and I was like, you know what, let me jump in here, because I want people to hear it from you, the creator of the Absolute Toning, so people get excited. I want people to get excited about this, because there's, wow. Because you had surgery and you have 3 kids.
Yes, I cannot jump. And I assure you that I have chill bumps. I spent weeks, months really developing it, considering everything, making sure that by using one body part, in a difficult way, people wouldn't then have to try and compensate by using another one. You have to be very careful with form. Right. And so I tried to be very cautious of what I recommend doing and how I recommend doing it. And you'll notice in the beginning, as you do the daily toning, because you're doing a workout and then you're looking at this guide that's telling you, you have breaks in between each set, and so it says, okay, add the band, okay, use the step this way, or whatever. Right. I was careful so that in the beginning you're really just adding the band, but then as you notice, week 2 I add a couple more things, and then week 3 I start combo moving. Because if you're doing a chest press, why can't you also bridge up? You know what I mean? And work your lower body. Right. So it's really that taking advantage of every muscle, every moment.
Right. But importantly, what you said is You got to be careful with your form.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you do 50 of that same. If your form is out, you're not doing anything for yourself.
That's correct.
And I'm heavy. I'm a heavy person. I'm trying to lose the weight. And for me, I have to modify.
Yeah.
We have to modify because I've done like the gun-ho workouts, and I had a stress fracture.
Yeah. Yes.
I've injured my back. And then what? Then I'm out for 12 weeks.
That's
and I
right.
can't do anything.
It's not worth the risk.
The modified, I'd rather do the forms properly and not get injured.
Yep.
And see the results.
And knowing as you go through that, and if you follow me on Instagram and watch anytime I do any of my videos, it's slow and steady wins the race. Mm-hmm. You do not have to keep up with them on the video. The videos are amazing because they tell us what to do and they cue us. And you can focus then on mind to muscle and engaging that, and that's how you get results. But you do not have to move super fast to get results. And so you might get 1 or 2 reps less. Just keep moving, move on. You're going to need to be changing equipment and that kind of thing. And just know that if it looks difficult, you are a warrior. You can do it. You can do it as long as you believe it. And like you were saying, modifying, if you get to a point where I'm doing combo moves or I suggest combo moves, if you can't do, say you can't lower your legs with the ankle weights on without your back coming up off the ground, because you want to keep your back pressed very hard onto the floor, then take off the ankle weights or don't bring your legs all the way to the floor, or take off the band. You don't have to do every single thing that is suggested in that toning guide. You could just do one or the other.
Right.
Ankle weights and not the band, or do the band and not the ankle weights. And then as you get stronger, you'll be able to do them all. So,
one last question is,
sure.
What do you do for your meal plan?
So my meal plan is pretty, as I'm sitting here, I told you I raced. I've got some cottage cheese and an avocado. So my meal plan is based on, it follows pretty closely to Portion Fix. I no longer portion out food because I've been doing it so long, so I know exactly what I need and how often I need it. So I essentially eat 5 meals a day. I eat my first meal of the day, I guess you could say, would be Recover. I drink Beachbody's Recover, and I mix it with, and I'm gonna just give y'all a little tidbit on this because I love it so much. My twin girls, every morning, they're like, you say the same thing. I go, this is so delicious. But it's Recover, and I mix it with coconut almond milk. It's a blend you can get at the store. It tastes like an Almond Joy. It is delicious. So that's my first meal. And then I usually will eat a small breakfast after that, maybe like after I get the kids to school 2.5 hours later. And that's usually like cottage cheese, eggs, and an avocado. You want that, good fat and protein. I also will tell you that I believe, this is pretty funny, that a good booty is made of a lot of muscle and a little fat. You gotta have that. So, eat that cottage cheese, that kind of stuff. And I say that because when I was breastfeeding my twins, one of them had a dairy allergy, and I could not have any dairy, which is awful to deal with because it's in everything, including ramen noodles. It's in everything. Yeah. So I couldn't have any dairy, and I had gone from having an okay curve. I wasn't working out like I am now, but it was pretty good, to flat, like inverted butt. Oh my goodness. So I'm convinced dairy fat must go to the butt. So eat some cottage cheese or have a little cup of ice cream every now and then. And so anyway, then I eat a breakfast, and then, which the 2 meals are like your 2 breakfast meals. And then I'll wait till about lunchtime and have a salad, or, which I always put like chicken or any other protein on. And then my mid-afternoon snack is either, I like yogurt with honey. I do non-fat Greek yogurt. Mm-hmm. And I like to put a tablespoon of honey and almonds Always heavy in the protein, because you're building muscle, so you really need it.
Right.
Shakeology is a good substitute for the afternoon snack. And then it just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm running to get the kids from school, I usually just grab Shakeology and do that.
Right.
And then for dinner, you follow me, so you probably see a lot of what I eat.
I do.
I try and keep the carbs low at dinner. And the Portion Fix talks about that. It's not about not eating carbs, it's eating them at a certain time of day.
Right.
So eat your carbs early because your body turns them into energy. But if you eat your carbs late, then your body is storing it because it doesn't need much energy. It's gone into that kind of relaxed state. So I usually will eat, a regular, like last night we had shrimp. I made it, we had shrimp salad. We're here in Charleston, South Carolina, so that seafood's around us. So I had shrimp that I made with a low-fat mayonnaise, dill, delicious. And just one piece, you think shrimp salad, a lot of people will eat that like on a sandwich with bread. I did one piece of bread.
Right.
And, so just things that you can do to keep it kind of low carb.
Low carb.
That's kind of how I eat.
That's really good. That's really, really good.
So Portion Fix is key.
Portion Fix is key. It is.
It just gets your mindset where it needs to be.
Yeah. That's why I really want to work heavy first week on the mindset.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's why we've already done the Ultimate Portion Fix. And for those who did it, this is going to be great for them because I know I did it. And I noticed myself not even eating all my carb containers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I noticed I didn't have all my carbs. Okay. Okay. And now I'm down to 2 containers a day of carbs.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
from the 5 that I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not pushing myself. I only need 2.
Yes. Well, and something I want to stress too, that a lot of people don't think of, and I had a friend of mine who was trying to lose weight, go carb free. But what happens is your body needs it. You need that energy. And if you don't get it from carbs, you will start craving sugar. Right. And so that's huge. Your body will find its energy source. Same thing with the ample amount of sleep. If you ever notice, if you don't get enough sleep, you will crave sugar by the end of the day because your body is looking for an alternative energy source.
Yep.
So never deprive it and just always do everything in moderation. And know with the mindset that you do the necessary hard work right now. And then you get to a point where you already know how to eat. Your mind, it's not as complicated. It's not as overwhelming or planning. You don't have to do as much. And then once you're at your goal, once you're at your healthy goal weight, if you're trying to lose weight, then you can, it's not as, I have cake. I have all the things that I want to have in moderation. Well, and because I know I'm not currently trying to lose any more weight, but I also know that it makes me feel gross if I eat the things that, that aren't good.
Right.
So
like Monday morning bloating because it really ruined it the whole weekend.
Yeah, exactly. That alcohol will catch you, sneak up on you quick. So it's just, and once you're eating and you're fueling yourself and your body starts speaking to your mind and body are connected. And then you're like, oh, I know if I eat another one of those, I'm going to feel gross. And so, so just do the necessary hard work now.
Yes. Yes. And I agree. I don't know what the temperature's like over there by you, but I'm in Jersey and it still sucks here.
Is it still cold?
It's still cold. It's 43 degrees out today and it's still raining here.
Oh,
and
no.
So for me, this is great only because I'm trying to get as fit as possible before I travel and before I go to Summit and before.
Are you going to Summit?
I'm going to Summit.
We have to meet up.
Absolutely.
We have to. So we're all doing the workbook before Summit.
Yes, and that's what we're doing.
My whole group.
Start this on Monday.
Yes, yay! I had some girls start on Monday. We, because we just did 21 Day Fix, the group of girls of us on our team that were doing it, we just were, because we wanted to be able to tell our challengers whether or not it would fit them and that kind of thing. Right. But from having done the hybrid and the workbook, we were just desiring another hybrid, and we kind of needed a little break from Autumn. I love her to death, but it was a little overwhelming. So we're doing another hybrid right now, and we're going to jump on June 1st back to the workbook. So
okay. I'm excited because I'm starting this Monday for pre-week, and then the following week we're full force.
Yes, awesome.
So hopefully we're done for Summit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like around the corner.
It is. It's so close.
So close. But I want people to know, listen, it is still not great out there. It's not bikini weather yet.
Yeah, you can still do it.
You can still do this.
Yes.
So let's get started.
Yeah.
Monday. So
I mean, tomorrow you're a day close. You know what I mean? Each day is going to pass anyway. So just jump on, do it, and let the 6 weeks pass with you making a difference or a change.
Yeah.
And know that I had the group of girls that just started it this past Monday. Several of them are postpartum. So that tells you this is their first workout since having a baby.
Have a baby.
Yep.
Yeah, that's huge. And here's my thing is I wish I knew about Beachbody, because Beachbody is 20 years old. My son's 21. But if I would have known about this before,
I know
my pregnancies would have been amazing. Although I had wonderful pregnancies, but you don't realize that working out and eating properly is wonderful for the birth.
Yeah.
And for labor.
A good friend of mine, who's also a Beachbody coach, Ashley Allard. I don't know if you follow her or not. Mm-hmm. She just had her second baby. Her first baby was a delivery was a nightmare story. I mean, just something out of a horror story, I guess I should say, nightmare. But she had an awful experience and like 4th-degree tears, bad. Oh my gosh. She did Beachbody. She's been doing Beachbody for a while now, and she's actually my upline direct. And she did Beachbody her whole pregnancy. I even have pictures that I posted of her squatting like the day before she was induced. Baby was born within 20 minutes, 2 pushes, no problems.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just is preparing your body. That's like the ultimate workout, labor is like, so to not be prepared for it, it's like trying to go run a triathlon and
not be ready for it. Yeah.
Crash and burn.
I know some women are very leery about working out during their pregnancy, but it is, again, modifications.
Yes.
Don't push your body to the full limit if you're scared. But just do something.
Do something.
The labor is just so much better. And I wish I would have known that because I had C-sections, and then I learned about how important it is to work that core, and I would have delivered perfectly.
I know. In hindsight, but all we can do is change lives going forward, right? Exactly. Like just spread that news.
Yes.
So,
Ashley, thank you so much for that. And I'm going to have all my team tag you as we're doing it.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you.
And I cannot wait to meet you at Summit.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
It's so fun.
And thank you. Thank
you.
Of
course.
For sharing. All right, so I'm going to stop.